Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's webinar is regarding Laserfiche backup options, titled, What's Your Backup Plan? Options to back up your critical Laserfiche data. My name is Andrew Albers. I am the account executive here at CDI, and I will be your host today. I should pause a bit here because it looks like we still have some attendees trying to join. So I will pause just for a couple seconds here. All right, looks like our attendance has leveled off here. So let's go ahead and get started with today's webinar. Thank you again, everybody, for joining. I am pleased to present you today's webinar. And today we are talking about a very serious topic, Laserfiche backups. In this day and age, Laserfiche backups are essential in many organizations. The Laserfiche application often becomes a mission critical application. So any loss of data can have severe consequences for the organization. Loss of data can come from a variety of sources. We have potential natural disasters. We can potentially experience a hardware malfunction somewhere in our server environment. And especially these days, we are also concerned with bad actors. There's quite a bit of threat actors out there looking to exploit systems and companies and organizations with ransomware and other nefarious activity. So backups are vital. All right, couple housekeeping items before we get into the presentation. Everyone is on mute. Questions, please put those in the question box. I will try to answer all of them towards the end of the presentation. If not, I'll get back to you on a one-on-one basis through email. Slides and screenshots of this presentation are available upon request, so no need to take notes. And also the webinar session is being recorded. So this is something that we will then post to our YouTube channel library, and you can review it at a later time as needed. So again, today's agenda is Laserfiche backup options. Specifically, I'm going to focus on recommendations for local Laserfiche backups, offering some best practices and recommendations. We're also going to get into some solutions that CDI offers, specifically our online backup solutions for clients that don't want to do their own backups and would rather offload that requirement to CDI. We can assist with that. And also our warm storage solutions, another service that we provide to enhance your backups through the warm storage process. And I'll get into that a bit later as far as details and what that entails. So let's start with Laserfiche local backups. Now, this is relevant to all of our clients that are leveraging a Laserfiche on-premise deployment. So this is a system running in your hardware infrastructure, being self-hosted by your organization. These are your Laserfiche Avante systems, Laserfiche Rio systems, Laserfiche on-premise subscription systems, as well as all of the Laserfiche legacy platforms. Essentially, any system that's self-hosted, the client is responsible for performing their own backups of the data. So let's start with looking at some backup principles and some best practices here. First one, really important one, is obviously to back up all of the necessary files. The Laserfiche server includes several different components, each of which must be included in your backup plan, specifically the volume files and the SQL databases. Make sure to back up often. So making sure to backing up often and as often as possible. Laserfiche and CDI both recommend a differential backup at least once a day, with a full backup of the entire system once or more per week. Update your backup procedure when your Laserfiche installation changes. So this is important if any changes are made to the Laserfiche deployment. Certain changes to your Laserfiche installation may require to update your backup procedure. For example, migrating from a previous version of Laserfiche to a new version will usually involving creating a new database. This new database must now be backed up rather than the old and now unused database. So this is a really important factor to keep in mind. When the database changes, you have to make sure you're backing up the new database that the Laserfiche system is utilizing. And another very important scope of the project is testing your backups. Always test your backups on a regular basis to make sure you can restore your system in full, effectively, and in a short amount of time. So testing is critical of your backups. Let's get into the backup scope and all of the required instances and modules and the entire picture of the environment that needs to be backed up. So in backing up your Laserfiche repository, you'll need to back up two different main components. We have the SQL databases. Those are the databases that store the folder structure, metadata, and other administrative information about the repository. Then we have the volumes. The volumes are the ones that contain the images, the text, the extracted text, the OCR text, the electronic documents, the thumbnails, and word locations associated with our documents in the system. These are stored as normal files within the Windows file system and must remain synchronized with the SQL database. That's critical. This synchronization with the files and the SQL database is critical. Since additional volumes may be created as the repository is used, be sure to update your backup procedure regularly to account for any new volumes created in the system. Again, this is very important. As those new volumes are created, we want to make sure we're backing up all of our volumes. All right. Now, as far as the SQL database, SQL databases may be backed up in a variety of ways depending on what software you have and what type of SQL database management system you have installed. The most common and the best and the recommended approach is utilizing native SQL Server backup. So Microsoft SQL Server actually includes a variety of powerful and flexible backup tools that you can leverage to do backups. It is recommended to use the included SQL Server Management Studio to back up your repository. So this is the recommendation generally from Laserfiche as well as our CDI support team, is to utilize the built-in SQL Server Management Studio to back up SQL. There are some other third-party software that you may be able to utilize. These companies, they make the software to back up both your volumes and your SQL database files. If you're looking to use a third-party software, feel free to reach out to our support team just to make sure that's going to be compatible, fully compatible, and it's going to work according to what needs to be backed up within the Laserfiche environment. So our support team is here to help, but again, the native SQL Server backup through SQL Server Management Studio is the recommended approach. So that covers the SQL databases. Now we have the index files, and it is recommended to back up the index files whenever possible, especially for large repositories, as the reindexing process can be extremely lengthy. So these index files, this is all of the OCR text. This is all of the extracted text from documents that your users run their full text searches on. So you want to make sure you're backing that up as well, because while the system can reindex the repository, that reindexing process may take a considerable amount of time. So the best practice is to back up those index files so they can be re-uploaded easily into the system. That just improves your user experience. Again, users are not going to have to wait to be able to run those full text searches. Backing up index files allows you to perform full text searches immediately after recovering a backed up database without the need for reindexing again. So this is just the best practice to keep in mind. It is recommended to back up those index files as well. All right, let's move on here. Now our volumes. So Laserfiche volumes are standard Windows directories, and so they may be backed up using whatever method you prefer to use for Windows files. But the main consideration when backing up volumes is keeping them synchronized with your SQL database backup files. You can do this by making your volumes temporarily read-only in the Laserfiche system. All right, so that covers our volume backups. Let's talk about audit data. So this is if you are leveraging Laserfiche Audit Trail. This is an optional component on some of the platforms, but with the enterprise deployments of Laserfiche, such as the Rio licensing, Audit Trail is included. So you want to make sure you're backing up your audit trail as well if you do not want to lose your audit data. You probably don't want to lose your audit data, so it is definitely recommended to back up the audit trail binary log files to keep that data available for restoration. Additionally, another best practice is to back up the Laserfiche server named user database. So this is if you are using Laserfiche Rio or Laserfiche Avante. Your Laserfiche server installation includes a database file that contains your named user licenses information for that server. It is a good idea to back up this file, as otherwise you will need to reallocate your licenses after restoring from backup. So again, this is just the best practice to keep in mind to back up your Laserfiche server named user database as well. Okay. So these are the best practices for backups handled locally, where the client is essentially responsible for performing those backups on their own. Well, what if you don't want to do your own backups? What tools are there to help you? So CDI actually offers online backup solutions. This is through our private data center. This is a service that you can subscribe to. And we've developed this specifically for those reasons where clients don't want to, or they don't have the technical savvy to back up their systems, not only Laserfiche, but any other systems. So we can provide online backup solutions. CDI offers trusted online backup services and storage solutions to organizations looking to reduce the headaches, burdens, and costs of backing up mission-critical data. So again, we have many clients that don't want to do their own backups. They'll utilize our services in our private data center for backup purposes. We have a very secure and compliant private data center. As you can see on screen, the data center is very compliant with specific requirements. So for example, we have the HIPAA compliance, that's one important one, the SOC 1, 2, and 3 type 2, and many more that you can see on screen as well. And this solution is really great. Essentially what we do with this solution, we install a remote agent in your server infrastructure, and we schedule and set up the nightly backups of Laserfiche and really any other server-based system that you're looking to have backed up. Things like Office 365, Microsoft Exchange, obviously SQL, Microsoft SQL, and Laserfiche. But again, any other server-based system that requires backups, we can go ahead and get that handled for you. We provide nightly backups, very secure, 256-bit encryption. If you want to schedule more frequent backups, no problem there. We can go ahead and get that scheduled. You can schedule the frequency as you desire. We can restore files for up to 30 days. We also provide you with daily backup statistics that are emailed nightly to you. And the whole solution includes installation and support services for the life of the contract agreement. So Again, this is an excellent solution that CDI offers to back up not only your Laserfiche system, but really any other system that you are currently running on premise and don't want to have to deal with those backups yourself. So please feel free to talk to us. Let us know your specific concerns or situations of what you're looking to have backed up. I'm sure we can absolutely help you. To take it a step further, in our private data center, we also offer warm storage solutions. So this is a more secure way of storing files as a third party. So today's abundance of information makes the importance of backup critical to business success. For clients looking for a secure and reliable backup solution, CDI offers a write once, read many, which is the WORM acronym, storage solution. What WORM does, it creates a system of data redundancy, which assures the data will be kept safe and secure. The data cannot be tampered with after initial storage. And this is the key point here, is the data is unalterable. It cannot be changed. It cannot be tampered with. It's stored in the WORM format, and it's archived. WORM storage is perfect for clients looking to quickly and easily put a redundancy plan into place. Basically, what we're doing with WORM storage is storing an additional copy of your data, whether it's Laserfiche or another system or anything else that needs to be stored in this WORM format. So there are a lot of industries out there that are heavily regulated, such as the financial industry, and I'll get into a specific example on the next slide, where they are required to store their data in this WORM format. So this is why we've developed this solution to help those clients that have those requirements of storage of their data in these formats to be able to handle that for them easily and effectively. So we can back up Laserfiche to WORM. We can back up your network drives, Exchange, SharePoint, any other system where you do need that WORM compliance. Again, this is through with the 256-bit encryption through our private data center. So very secure and meets that compliance. Again, we provide the daily backup statistics, emails sent to you, and we provide the installation and support for the service. So let's get into a couple examples here where the benefits of the CDI WORM storage can be leveraged. So this is one big example is in California, where if you're a public agency, there is a mandate from the Secretary of State called Trusted Systems. It's actually part of California Government Code 12168.7C. So basically what this states is that public agencies that wish to destroy paper documents and rely solely on electronic versions will need a trusted system in place. A trusted system requires that at least one copy of a stored electronic document or record is written that does not permit any unauthorized alterations or deletions and is stored and preserved in a separate and safe location. So this is exactly where our WORM solution fits in. Since we are in a private data center, we're storing that document in that WORM format. This would meet this part of this California Trusted Systems mandate for a public agency. And this is specific to public agencies in California, but I'm sure for other states, if you're a public agency, you have a similar mandate. Essentially, if you're looking to shred or destroy your paper documents and you're only keeping the electronic copies, you really need to have multiple backup copies. And like in California, they require you to have that backup copy in that WORM format, which we can provide through our WORM storage service. So that's for local government and public agencies. Another industry that can really benefit from WORM storage is the financial industry. So this is specific to broker-dealers, and they are obviously governed by the Securities and Exchanges Commission. So there are a couple different SEC rules, specifically 17A-3 and 17A-4. And basically, these rules require broker-dealers to create and preserve in an easily accessible manner a comprehensive record of each securities transaction they affect and of their securities business in general. Under the rules, electronic records must be preserved exclusively in a non-rewritable and non-erasable format, which is the worm. Broker-dealers must employ a storage system that prevents alteration or erasure of the records for their required retention period. So again, this is the perfect fit with our worm storage solution to meet these SEC rules. We have plenty of financial clients that utilize our service just for this, to meet this requirement. So if you're in the financial industry, please do reach out to us. We can definitely help you, and we can definitely discuss your needs in more detail. So we'd be happy to do that with you. All right, so that's a couple examples of the benefits of our worm storage solution. Now, pricing really quickly here for the CDI online backup. So this is us doing your backups of your, not only your Laserfiche, but really any other system that you want us to back up for you. It's just $1.50 per gigabyte per month. So very cost effective. For CDI worm storage, just a little bit more, $2 per gigabyte per month. This is billed monthly. And again, feel free to reach out to us. Let us know your particular needs and your current situation, and I'm sure we can assist with your backups. And then also, if you're in one of those heavily regulated industries, you may definitely be interested in our worm storage solution as well. And here I have a slide specific to our data center. So as I mentioned, both of these backup and worm storage solutions are offered through our private data center. We've invested a lot into our data center, so it is very secure. You can read some of the specifications there on screen, but highly secure environment, redundancy in terms of network connectivity, and also in terms of the power backups and the cooling requirements that are required to run a data center. So excellent data center. This is all through CDI, and we're able to offer you with the backup solutions and then the worm storage solution as well. So some resources for you. Our website is on screen, cdi.support. Also a link to our YouTube channel library, where we'll be posting this video, and any of our other webinars are archived there as well for your perusal. If you have any questions specific to today's webinar, please feel free to reach out if you want to discuss in more detail our online backup options, as well as our worm storage solutions. I'm happy to help you all. Emails on screen, phone numbers on screen, as well as the contact information for our support team. If you do have any questions for performing your own backups, the backup options I covered earlier, feel free to reach out to our support team. They can provide some additional ideas and best practices for doing your own backups. But again, if you don't want to do your backups, feel free to leverage our online backup services. And thank you all so much. This concludes today's webinar.